So I'd say the last few weeks actually have been probably one of the most hardest times that I've actually had to experience.
Love you. Terrell loves you. Terrell loves you. Everybody loves you.
So our beloved cat Manny, had him for 16 years now. You know, he was a massive part of our family, especially for me and my mum. He was, there throughout all of the hard times. I never realised how much comfort and love and support an animal can give you until it's too late. And unfortunately, in his case, it was his time to pass. It's just been a really hard adjusting period because everything happened like so quickly. So to begin with, he's been living with my mum for the past 3 years in Essex. So I'd regularly go and see her and see him, and yeah. About a month ago today, my mum made the decision to take him to a cat sanctuary where, he can be looked after and get all of his treatments that he needs. And eventually he would then get adopted by another family. After a few days, it was evident that, we were missing him so much, and kind of doubted the decision, if it was, the right decision to make, because ultimately we're thinking of him and his quality of life. But because he was getting so old, my mum really just wanted him back, for whatever time that we had left with him. It kind of felt right that he was, in his home. He was then picked up by a lady and taken to the cat sanctuary. A few days passed and, we were anxiously awaiting for updates, pictures, videos, just to see how he's getting on. And then a couple of days later, the cat sanctuary reached out to my mum and said, he's not been the same since. He's not really adjusting well with the other cats, and if you want to, you can pick him back up. So for us, that was like a miracle, because I never thought that I was going to get to see him again. I thought that the last time I seen him, which would have been in January, was going to be the last time. So for me, it felt like my world was complete, the fact that he's coming home. And then he came back home, I think it was on a Tuesday, and by Thursday his health just plummeted really bad. He had an overactive thyroid, so his heart was struggling to keep up. On Friday morning, I woke up to one of the most devastating videos I think I've ever witnessed. It was Manny just led on the bed, and you can just hear his heart beating really fast. And my mum made the decision to take him to the vets to get looked at, just thinking that we could get something for him to help him in the meantime. But yeah, when he was seen, they said the kindest thing you can do is actually put him down. Now, initially for my mum, because it was just her there at the time with her neighbour, this was like a massive shock. She had to put down her baby. She wasn't expecting to leave without him, but unfortunately that's what happened. So I got the call when I was in work and immediately just fell to my knees. My whole world just came crumbling down. It was a massive shock to the system to hear those words come from her mouth, and that's something that will stay with me, for the rest of my life. So I jumped on the train after work on the Monday, and it was me, Mum and Cordell who got to see him one last time. But the whole experience was just really heavy. I'm really proud of myself for the way that I kept myself together, because obviously I want to be strong for my mum as well. But when we were waiting in the waiting room next door, there was a cat that was like honestly the miniature version of our cat Manny. And it was just a sad contrast to see, this cat starting out its life whilst in the room next door his life is ending. So that almost broke me. And then the second that we walked in, just seeing him led on that table was really hard. We wanted to be able to give him, one last cuddle, but because of his physical state, and without going into too much detail, there wasn't much movement, there. He was pretty solid, so the best we could do was just pick him up, which is what we did anyway. And I think for me, it was definitely the closure that I needed, just to be able to say goodbye to him one last time. I had a little moment as well when I was just saying a few special words to him, just thanking him for the life that he's been a part of, and thank you for all of the good times. Everything that this little cat has given me doesn't go without notice. So yeah, he was put down, and for a good week and 2 weeks or so, I have literally just been processing the grief, trying to manage it, and I haven't really been on socials much, and I just haven't really been in the headspace for it, which is why you probably haven't seen me on here. But it's the new year and I'm trying to be consistent, so even if I show up and take you through the bad times as much as the good, it's all part of the journey. But one thing I have learned throughout this whole experience is that life really is too short. You really never know what's around the corner, and obviously in our case we wasn't expecting this, so it does put things into perspective. And I'm so grateful for all of my friends, especially my friends who have reached out to me and just wanted to make sure that I'm okay and just checking in on me, because anyone that does know me knows that that cat was literally like my shadow. He played a big part in my life growing up. I had him since I was 13, so it's almost a whole life, half a lifetime for me I've experienced with this cat. But yeah, unfortunately that's what's happened, and I'm just learning to live with it. But this was a special dedication to him.
Could just get another ball from the basket.
So I'm finally gonna get my eyebrows done today. They're looking a bit crazy, but I haven't had them done in about just over a year now, I think. So just decided to give myself a bit of TLC. And I'm back from getting my eyebrows done. This is honestly the best they've ever looked. in so long. So it's 7 p.m. now. I'm gonna fix myself some food because I'm hungry and I've barely eaten anything all day. I picked up a 3-cheese pasta from Aldi earlier, so I'm basically just gonna have that with some sausages, little mac and cheese and sausage kind of vibe. So recently I've been trying to get into skincare. Usually I just splash my face with water, dab some moisturizer on and that's it basically, but James has been getting me into it and we've been using the Garnier Vitamin C Brightening Serum, which is this little one here. So there's like a day and a night serum, and I'm not entirely sure if this is the right way to do it, but I just put like a couple of drops on and just rub that in. And then once all of that's dried, then go in with this Day and Night Glow serum. So it's really cool. So it basically has like one side which is for the day, then obviously the other for the night. So I usually just do 3 like pumps, just on my forehead and then like the sides. And then you just gently pat that into the skin apparently. This is what you're supposed to do. And that basically just gives you a bit of a glow to your skin. But I would say, since I've been using this, I've kind of been able to tell like the difference between my skin like during the day when I'm at work, because usually I'm quite, like I perspirate quite bad, like I sweat really bad like from my face if I'm doing like a lot of walking around or anything like that. But since I've been like applying this stuff to my face, I find like it kind of like locks in all of my moisture, because I have quite oily skin anyway. But yeah, it's definitely been really helpful. And then going with the CeraVe moisturizer, this is actually really good if you have oily skin like me. I definitely want to get into skincare a bit more. Like to be honest, I'm not really clued up on most skincare products or what to use for my type of skin, but this stuff's been working great so far.